News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
KVNU News Time is 4:03. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by Roof Rescue. New research shows Cache Valley has some of the safest roads in Utah. Study on each county's total fatal car crashes per 10,000 licensed drivers has revealed which has the highest crash rate in the state. The research highlighted exactly where the 2.2 million licensed drivers in the state need to be most cautious. Cache County was found to be the sixth safest, with only 3.9 fatal accidents per 10,000 individuals. Grand County was found to be the most dangerous, with 26.9 fatal crashes per 10,000. The research was done by Las Vegas personal injury lawyers H&P Law. They looked at the most recent statistics on motor vehicle crashes in each county, scaling the total crashes per 10,000 county population. Rich County and others with a population of less than 5,000 people were removed from the results due to the number being too small to calculate. The research showed that Grand is the most dangerous county with a rate of 26.9 fatal crashes per 10,000 people. While Grand has one of the smaller populations, drivers should be extra careful as the crash rate there is 131% above the state average. Following behind it was Millard, San Juan, Emory, and Garfield, rounding out the top five. On the opposite end of the study, Davis County found itself as the safest for drivers, with a rate of only 1.8 fatal accidents per 10,000 residents, a 84% decrease from the state average. Following behind it was Utah, Salt Lake, Washington, and Weber counties, rounding out the top five. KVNU News Time is 4:05. KVNU weather for tonight. Mostly cloudy skies, overnight low in the upper 20s, and then a chance of rain tomorrow, mostly cloudy, high temperature in the lower 40s. The warmest we've been today has been 37. Right now we have 34 degrees at KVNU. The guys at Whole Tree Care trim trees all winter. In fact, winter is the best time to trim because visibility is perfect with no leaves. Plus, your trees are dormant, making it easier on your trees. Call 435-760-6587.
Roof Rescue is your local roof specialist, dedicated to keeping your home safe and dry no matter the weather. Their team of experienced roofers is here to serve you, providing top-quality service at affordable prices. From minor repairs to complete roof replacements, they've got you covered. Remember, your roof is your first line of defense in protecting your family from the elements. So don't wait until the next storm to discover your roof problems. Call Roof Rescue today at 435-999-4268. They're your trusted local roofing experts, here to keep your home safe and dry. Roof Rescue, celebrating 10 years of providing watertight peace of mind.
KVNU News Time is 4:06. A Utah County man who allegedly set booby traps for his roommate before confronting police with a knife is facing several criminal charges. 24-year-old Jacob Eli Wilson was charged Thursday in 4th District Court with assault on a police officer, a second-degree felony, and making a threat of violence, failing to give police his identity, marijuana possession, and possession of drug paraphernalia. On Saturday, Orem police were called to an area after Wilson allegedly threatened his roommate's life, according to charging documents. According to what the charges state, he banged on the roommate's walls and doors and said if the roommate came out of the room, he would lose a foot. The defendant was blowing an air horn and said that he had booby-trapped the room and poured vinegar all over the floor in front of the roommate's room. The roommate ended up climbing out of his bedroom window and went down to the street to call police. When officers arrived, Wilson initially did not answer the door. Police then knocked on a window where they could see Wilson. He opened the door holding up pepper spray and a large hunting knife. Police drew their guns and ordered Wilson to drop his weapons. He complied and was taken into custody. And students and teachers at a Cedar City school were evacuated Thursday afternoon because of suspected exposure to carbon monoxide. The evacuation at Canyon View Middle School occurred around 1 p.m. after some students and teachers in one area of the school reported having headaches and feeling dizzy and nauseous. After arriving at the school, Cedar City Fire Department monitored the air and did not find any dangerous levels of carbon monoxide, according to Iron County School District officials. However, by the time first responders arrived, the school had already opened all doors and windows, so the exact levels at the time of the incident were not recorded. Paramedics tested the carbon monoxide levels of all students in one of the halls, and 25 other people were checked by a doctor who found their levels to be normal. All students were later cleared to re-enter the building. KVNU News Time is 4:08. For more details on these and other stories, visit CashValleyDaily.com.
News Talk KVNU, 610 AM at 102.1 FM.
Finding effective and affordable insurance solutions can be stressful. This is Matt Robbins with Quality First Insurance. As a kid growing up, my father, Gordon, took care of my insurance, and I knew I never needed to worry. I was covered. I've continued to provide that same service for my clients at Quality First. My team of experienced agents work hard to ensure every customer gets the help they need. Let's sit down and take the stress out of your insurance. Call us today, 435-752-0101.
Are you a dedicated caregiver tirelessly looking after the needs of your aging loved one? Hi, I'm Haley, and I want to extend a heartfelt invitation from all of us here at Legacy House of Logan. Legacy House provides a safe and nurturing space for your loved one, giving you the peace of mind you need to focus on your own well-being. Consider taking the next step in the care of your loved one by scheduling a tour of our facility and meet our caregivers. We're Legacy House of Logan on 1400 North and online at legacylogan.com.
What if we told you the next 3 times you fill your tank, you could save money? Well, at Chevron, it's true. You can get $1 off per gallon on your next 3 visits when you download the Chevron app and join Chevron Rewards. Earn points on every fuel transaction and qualifying in-store purchases at any Cache Valley Chevron station. Doesn't it feel great to get rewarded for being you? Download the app and join to get started today. Terms and conditions apply. Visit any Cache Valley Chevron station for details or go to ChevronTexacalRewards.com.
Landing. Yeah, that's really hard on your knees.
Welcome back to the For the People Movie Show with Andy Morgan. You guys missed it.
AKA Movie Boy.
You're glad. I was just spoiling some stuff for Andy during the break there.
Well, now I don't have to watch it.
Now you don't have to see it, but yeah, I watched the first couple episodes. I haven't finished it, but Succession on HBO is now done, and I was listening to a thing where they were talking about the final season, and they just said something really cool, and it reminded me of. You reminded me of it by saying something you said about a movie you'd seen that it's weird because not everything in real life, would translate well to a movie.
Well, things don't there
are some things that would be really boring. If you just showed them in a movie the way they happen in real life, it would be a snooze fest. But there are other things that sometimes they play out a certain way in movies like they never do in real life, and sometimes it's refreshing to see something relatable.
Well, and sometimes you need a combo of things. See, this is the majesty. This is the majesty. This is the magic and the majesty of cinema, in my mind. It's the same thing with books. I mean, any art form we can make this comparison. But there used to be this quote that when I was in journalism that they would always say, and I think it's a Tom Stoppard quote, and I'm going to get it wrong, but paraphrasing. It basically says, words are sacred. You put the right ones in the right order, and you can nudge the world a little bit. That's kind of the way I look at movies. Is you put the right,
actually pretty good.
You put the right elements together. The cinematography, the acting, the script, the music. You put all those things in the right order, and the director lines them up. in a masterful way.
Yeah.
And it not only moves people, you can move the world, you can move a lot of different things. And I think that's...
And it doesn't require perfection.
No. Chris Nolan had a great... Chris. I call him Chris because we're friends. We email all the time.
Chris. Nolan, you may have heard of him.
I don't know if it's... I've been emailing somebody named Chris Nolan89 at AOL.com for the better part of
They've been asking for money?
For 6 years. After I sent them... $2,000
wire transfer.
It was weird. It was to Sudan, so I don't know what was going on there. But I hope that Prince is doing okay.
I hope it helped fund that next movie of his because he said things were tight.
He said he needed to do a Kickstarter.
Spent all the Batman money.
I said, yeah. He said it was the Dark Knight Rose.
I would have to clip myself saying that out for a promo.
He spent all the
I've spent all the Batman money.
Gah. Anyway,
because out of context, that's it.
But when Chris and I are chatting, no, he had a great speech at the Golden Globes. By the way, you know me. I'm not.
Did you watch?
I did. I'm the Hollywood Foreign Press, like I was giving them, the double deuce for the last couple of years, just because I'm like, you guys.
I feel like I've been burned one too many times.
It gives the bad name, right? Because there's a whole contingent of incels on Rotten Tomatoes that think that Marvel has better superhero movie ratings than DC because Marvel pays all the critics a quarter every time you say something positive. I can tell you I have never received the Marvel money.
It's not because
I haven't received,
DC made Aquaman too.
I haven't received any of the Batman funds yet. But so when the Hollywood Foreign Press has this come out and they say, hey, hey, thanks for the kickbacks. You bet.
Thanks for that quarter.
When everyone's like, hey, wait a second, how did this movie get nominated? Like, is this a joke over there? And they're like, what's that Instagram reel thing? It's okay. No one will notice. They won't notice.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're thinking.
Think they'll notice?
They won't notice. So there was some legitimacy, I thought, that came back to the awards on Sunday. But there were some really good speeches. Robert Downey Jr., if you have a chance, listen to his Best Supporting Actor in a musical or comedy. No, I'm just kidding. Listen to his speech. His was great. He said something like, there's so much talent. I'm paraphrasing again. There's so much talent in this room that this doesn't feel like, he goes, this isn't really a, hey, you're one of the best awards. He said, this is like more like a most improved player. I thought it was very humble. I love speeches like that. But Christopher Nolan, he got up and
I love watching the Golden Globes that way. Highlight clips after the fact that you tell me
it's fair.
About, and
it's
then
fair.
I go watch them.
But Christopher Nolan said something to the effect of, he said, this is really not an award for me. It's a collaborative award. He goes, my job is just to get all the pieces together, move them around, and really push people to give their best.
Someone told me that once that being someone who directed a film said it was. Directing was a lot like just being really good at picking the right people to put in certain positions.
Well, it's like being a conductor, of a symphony. I think that's a really clever, like a good way to look at it. But he talked about that. He actually said something about Heath Ledger. He said last time I was up here, I was actually accepting an award on behalf of.
That was sad.
Heath Ledger. He said, and as I looked into the audience, Robert Downey Jr. was there, like basically giving me a look of support and making basically like, you can do this.
Yeah.
And I thought
that was a really sad moment in awards ceremonies.
Bittersweet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A deserved award, but
that was a
tragic scenario.
That was a great year for Best Supporting Actor stuff. That was, well, I don't think Robert Downey Jr. would get nominated today for playing the character he played in Tropic Thunder, which was 3 different characters. But
it was really good, though.
It was.
I mean, really showed how
it was good.
His comedic timing, his
But I would say at this point, as far as we look, we're getting closer and closer to the Oscars, which I think are in March this year.
Yeah.
I think the two movies sort of making the most noise are Oppenheimer and Past Lives. I looked all around. I don't know if it's playing at a Carmike or an AMC. I don't know, around the valley, the state.
I couldn't find it anywhere in Utah.
Yeah, Past Lives is not. In fact, we should probably check to see if there's any streaming option. Here's what I would say. Past Lives won the Utah Film Critics Association Best Picture last weekend when we voted.
Yeah.
And I will say right now that it is absolutely 1,000,000% deserving. Oppenheimer's great. It's been a great year for movies, just period. But Oppenheimer, in fact, this guy the other day on Twitter, he goes, were there any good movies this year? And I was like, where does this come from? Like, what are you? Do you have one channel? Like, what have you been to the movies ever?
Sometimes I feel like there's a contrarian. There's someone who feels that need to be contrarian in every circle. In politics, it's always
sports.
It's always the libertarians.
Yeah. Are there any even good movies since Gone with the Wind?
And yeah, right. That's exactly. And in sports, there's always a contrarian. And this.
What are the Jazz even trying to do? Will they ever win a championship?
Will they ever win a championship?
I always like to tell people that talk like.
Looks like you can see it on Google Play and Amazon Prime right now for $5.
It's worth it.
Past Lives.
It's worth
Apple TV as well.
I would say.
Ooh, Apple wants an extra $1 though.
Way to go, Apple!
$5.99 on Apple TV.
Here's what I would say: if you this weekend, if you're absolutely dead set to see a new movie, Mean Girls the musical is in theaters. The Beekeeper with Jason Statham. You probably already mentioned some of these, along with the Book of Clarence.
I mentioned that the synopsis of The Beekeeper with Jason Statham is one sentence, which is basically everyone acknowledging what you're getting into. Here's one sentence. It should just say, it stars Jason Statham.
Hunky.
So you know what kind of movie you're
guy
about to
trying
sit down
to pull
and
off
see.
American accent that's slightly better than Gerard Butler. He's going to beat up some guys that hurt the little man.
I will send you to hospital.
Yeah, that's right. In Portland.
In Portland. Which one?
The left one. What does he say? The one in the middle.
I don't remember.
That's what he says.
Yeah, it says the one in the middle.
The one in the middle.
Portland.
I'm sorry. Do you have a bag of marbles in your mouth?
I love that.
Oh, Gerard,
that is
we
one of
love
the
you, buddy.
Funniest spoofs.
I actually like in the movie In Plane when they were just like, you know what? Just go with it. Just what? We can just tell people, you know what? He's from Scotland. It's okay.
They just know it's
doesn't matter.
One of those accents.
They did that in what was the show where he's the
Portland
that came out during COVID that was the End of the World show. Greenland.
Oh, Greenland.
I am a sucker for like end of the world movies.
That movie was underrated.
Sure.
I enjoyed that more than I expected to. I didn't see it until I think I just saw it this year. Actually, I watched it one night.
You know, a movie we were going to talk
Netflix.
about last Friday, before I was stricken with the black lung. I want to also give a shout out. I can't believe I'm going to say this because there's so many haters out there, but I'm not pressured by the haters. A movie that's on Netflix right now that I think is getting an undue amount of criticism is Rebel Moon Part 1, Zack Snyder.
Oh.
It is very Zack Snyder. All the tropes that you come to expect from Zack Snyder, the gorgeous shots that you can pull out and frame, the slow motion.
It's kind of every dystopian sci-fi movie and novel ever.
What's the expository dialogue?
Really fun.
Where it's like Jason, I don't know if you know my story, but I'm going to tell you as we travel from this planet.
Because you'll need to know this later. And we
When I
couldn't
was a
figure
young
out a more
girl.
creative way to
That's right.
work it into the plot.
It'd basically be Obi-Wan telling Luke the entire story of Star Wars when Luke's in his little cabin, tinkering with his new lightsaber.
But it's really fun to watch. And
It's just cool, man.
Yeah, it looks cool. It sounds cool. It's got some really, really cool scenes.
Yeah.
And I just think everybody should kind of lighten up.
And
Plus, it sets the stage for the three-body problem. It gets everybody kind of primed on
Sci-fi
Netflix sci-fi.
Yeah, then that's a good point.
Because three-body problem is going to be big, I think.
I actually thought of something the other day when I was I think because I was looking at Zack Snyder stuff. I don't think Zack Snyder. This is my controversial statement. Maybe it's not controversial. Zack Snyder fits in the same place in my heart that Michael Bay does.
Oh.
Where I don't know if there's a bad Michael Bay movie, and I don't know if there's a bad Zack Snyder movie. I think there's one. I think they're so visually stimulating and do what they were meant to do that whether you hate, if you hate it, honestly, I mean, I get it, but I think you're just kind of being a hater. Like, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna put The Island with Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson up for a Best Picture Oscar, but did I enjoy it? Did it hit the beats that it was supposed to hit? Of course. That's Michael Bay, by the way. The same thing with Zack Snyder and his movie. This is one from probably 10 or 15 years ago. You remember Sucker Punch?
Oh, yeah. That was good.
I know. But that's the thing. Like, people...
I forgot about that.
Anyway, I do think there is...
a few that... there was another one that was just panned, and everybody was making fun of it, but it reminded me of the same thing
Was it
we're
the
discussing
zombie one?
here. The crime heist zombie one. Did you see that on Netflix?
Land of the... No, not Land of the Dead.
I can't remember what it is. It's just it's an extension of
Zack Snyder.
That whole world of Night of the Living Dead.
If they want, what is it? They want passage to live in a non-zombie area. They got to go into Vegas where there's the concentration.
Basically, break into the vault of a casino, and Vegas has become the place where they've locked all the zombies.
Yeah,
it's an amazingly fun watch. And then the other one was brand new cherry flavor, brand new cherry smell.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
The one where she shoots her way out of the room with her arms have been deadened by anesthetic, and she's in a spinning chair.
Yeah, what? I can't think of that.
I think it was something brand new flavor, brand new scent, something like. Anyway, that was also. Those are ones that I always think of where I want to say to everybody, lighten up. That was really fun. It was. I mean, sure, the acting. No one's winning an Oscar.
It's
no one's. But it's just they're fun to watch.
We have. This is what we've done.
Brand new cherry flavor was the name of that one.
And when I say we, I mean just groups. And we've done this with sports. We've done this with politics. We've done this with entertainment. Social media has turned us into a community of haters.
Yeah,
right.
That's a good point.
You see someone's opinion. Someone says, "Oh man, I can't believe." Spoiler alert! I can't believe Bran is sitting on the Iron Throne. This Game of Thrones is terrible, right? And then this, 6-7 season communal event that we've had for better part of a decade.
All of the things they loved, they scrapped because
burned down.
That one scene at the end, and I'll be the first to say that's not my preferred ending.
Right,
it didn't ruin it for me.
Entertainment, folks,
because I have a life.
Entertainment.
And all the rest of it was really good.
Actually, let me. I'm not going to say entertainment. I'm going to use this phrase: art owes you nothing. Period.
Yeah,
art owes you nothing, and if the creator is paying off to make his fans happy, then I would say, unless that's what the vision really is, then that creator is being disingenuous.
Yeah,
because fan service is terrible.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
I think the biggest thing on sticking with Game of Thrones and the fan freak.
Well, you
out,
said 3-body problem, which made me think.
Yeah. Sticking with that, though, I think one of the biggest things is we have to take our final break here, but one of the take a break here. I don't want to final.
It's the last
you
one
have
ever.
No idea what's going to happen on the other side.
Next week, no breaks.
It's worth noting that George R. R. Martin, the guy who wrote the books that all of these episodes were based on, liked the ending. He said it's not what he had planned. For his books that he, in theory, will finish one day. But never.
Did you see, by the way, I know we have to do this break, but
we got to go really fast.
Yeah, when we come back, I got a little tidbit to share that I thought was ironic.
All right. Ironic tidbit from Andy right after this here on the For the People Movie Show.
It's a new year and an opportunity to plan for the future. That's what we're doing here, the Cache Valley Media Group. We're in the middle of a significant upgrade in the technology we use to bring our community the best of local news, weather, sports, music, and entertainment. But in the process of doing that, we may encounter a few bumps in our programming along the way. We assure you, we're aware, and our team is working very hard to make our transition as seamless as possible. Thanks for your patience. Thanks for listening to this radio station. And from all of us at the Cache Valley Media Group, we hope you have a great 2024.
Welcome back to the For the People Movie Show. Again, new in theaters this week. Not much. Well, I mean, a lot, but nothing to really talk about. Or worth... Yeah, anyway. Sunrise. This is a vampire movie origin, which is a kind of an art house cinema style movie starring Nick Offerman, Connie Nielsen, about a woman who launches a global investigation and writes a book about it. There is also Which Brings Me to You, starring Steve Gull and Peter Hutchins. Won't make its way to Utah, but a romantic comedy. Distant, after crash landing on an alien planet, an asteroid miner must make his way across the harsh terrain, running out of oxygen. Yeah, starring Josh Gordon, Rachel Brosnahan, Spencer Cohen, and Will Speck. That is rated PG-13, new in theaters here in Logan. And ISS, rated R. This is kind of a horror, sci-fi, thriller kind of thing, set on the International Space Station. Tensions flare in the near future aboard the International Space Station as a worldwide conflict breaks out on Earth. Reeling from this, the astronauts receive orders from the ground, take control of the station by any means necessary. Yeah. So basically, it's award season. Everyone's sitting on their movies, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll have a full report on the Sundance Film Festival next week on the show, so maybe there'll be some exciting news there of what's going to be hitting theaters from Sundance. But as far as hitting theaters here in Logan, not a lot new. You can still see Iron Fist, Soul in theaters for the first time. It actually hit Disney Plus last year. Also, I've been told, don't call it a sequel, but Mean Girls 2, basically, or sorry, Mean Girls, yeah. It's being billed as just an extension set in the same universe. It's Mean Girls, Plastic is Forever, and critics are saying this is as funny as the original. So that is something you can get out and see in theaters if you choose here in Logan. But like I say, as far as new film options, slim pickings, which is kind of a good artist. Go listen to that instead of seeing a movie, maybe. No, if you haven't seen anything playing, there's a lot of good stuff playing, so you should get out to a movie this weekend if you can. It's just that your options are going to be something that was released on previous weekends. But if you haven't seen the latest crop, it's a good crop of films. So more of Andy Morgan and the For the People Movie Show after this look at the news with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News Time is 4:31, and the news is brought to you by U&I Furniture. It might seem like the kind of issue that could attract widespread support at the Utah legislature, a resolution to condemn the federal government's handling of the crisis of illegal immigration. But response to the measure, HJR 12, from Senate leaders, Republican and Democrat, was not exuberant on Thursday. The measure calls on Washington to fix the problem and, if not, let Utah and other states do it. Senate President Stuart Adams and Minority Leader Senator Luz Escamilla said immigration is the federal government's job. Escamilla said deportations of violent criminals are already happening through cooperation between Utah jails and ICE. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander scored 31 points. Jalen Williams had 11 of his 27 points in the fourth quarter, and the Oklahoma City Thunder snapped the Utah Jazz's 6-game win streak with a 134-129 victory last night at the Delta Center. Kason Wallace scored a season-high 16 points, and Josh Giddey had 20 points, 10 rebounds for the Thunder. KBNU News Time is 4:32.
UNI Furniture just took advantage of a last-minute opportunity. A name-brand furniture manufacturer called and discounted all of their showroom furniture from the furniture market. UNI Furniture sent a truck to pick it up, and it's all just arrived. Bookcases and TV consoles, some featuring built-in fireplaces, occasional tables, bedroom and dining room furniture, all in stock and discounted right now at UNI Furniture. So come shopping and take a look. There are one-time deals on name-brand furniture at a place where there's always a better buy at UNI Furniture in downtown Logan.
KBNU weather for tonight.
ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. Just Jays to the New Hampshire.
We'll get to the news update in just a second. Our forecast for tonight, mostly cloudy, low in the mid-20s, and then slight chance of rain after 2 p.m. on Saturday, but still unseasonably mild, around 40 for the high, and 30% chance of rain on Sunday and around 40 degrees. It's been to 37. It's 34 right now at KBNU. If you have that stuffy winter smell, give John at the Duct Hunter a call. Your air ducts could be holding on to dust and other surprises. Call 435-770-4813. A national news update. We'll check Wall Street from Edward Jones on the way.
ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. Just Jays to the New Hampshire primary. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says he thinks former President Trump is losing support.
You have some folks on our side who don't want to do the Trump thing again, and they checked out of the caucus.
Mr. Trump gets a key endorsement tonight from South Carolina Senator Tim Scott. President Biden signed a short-term funding bill to avert a government shutdown. A grand jury will look into whether any law enforcement officers should be criminally charged for their response to the 2022 massacre at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas. A small commuter plane made an emergency landing on a snowy highway near Washington, D.C.'s Dulles Airport.
Heard a loud noise, thinking my car blew up or something, and I look up and there's a plane 20 feet above me.
And Jesse Label says the plane hit a guardrail just feet from his car. House Ways and Means Committee's approved a compromise package to expand child tax credits and restore expired tax breaks. This is ABC News.
This is Ted Karen with Edward Jones Investments in Smithfield, bringing you the daily financial market report for Friday, January 19th. Stocks rallied to end the week. U.S. indexes finished sharply higher on Friday, with the S&P 500 and Dow closing out at fresh record highs. The technology sector outperformed, with semiconductor stocks leading the gains after Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corp reported stronger than expected gains, with the company surging more than 6%. Asian markets were also higher overnight, with Japan outperforming after headline inflation in the country hit its lowest since June of 2022. The 10-year Treasury yield was little changed, but the interest rate-sensitive consumer staples and utilities sectors declined, as investors favored growth over cyclical sectors. Debate around rate cuts continues ahead of the next Fed meeting. This week, a couple of Fed officials expressed the view that the bank should proceed cautiously with rate cuts. The relatively hawkish Fed speak, together with stronger than expected retail sales in the U.S. and a drop in jobless claims, drove the chances of a March rate cut down to around 50% from 70% a week ago. In our view, the timing of when the first rate cut might be delivered could be a source of volatility. But that doesn't change the broader theme that policy will most likely be easing in the back half of the year as inflation moves closer to the 2% target. A less restrictive Fed policy based on easing price pressures rather than economic weakness will be market-friendly in our view. This has been today's Financial Market Report, brought to you by Edward Jones, member SIPC, serving individual investors with personalized attention and financial advice. If you'd like additional information, please contact any of the 7 Edward Jones offices in Cache Valley, in Providence, Logan, and Smithfield.
With fresh snow comes fresh deals at Murdoch Hyundai. Make some fresh tracks to our winter sales event. Receive 0% for 3 years on a new Tucson or Santa Fe. Every new Hyundai comes with America's best warranty, a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty, and owner's assurance. When you walk through our doors, you feel like family. At Murdoch Hyundai, in Logan, Linden, and Murray, and online at murdochhyundai.com.
Call 866-628-3065 for state dealer for complete details. Offer expires 1/31/24.
Winter weather is hard on your vehicle. What's worse is when your vehicle breaks down and the only option is to drag it to the mechanic. This is Harrison with HH Mobile Repair. Listen, don't do that. It's not safe, and I'll come to you. HH Mobile Repair can handle all your repair needs at home, or if something happens at work, call me, and I'll diagnose it on the spot and repair it quickly, so you don't have to risk your safety. To schedule, search HH Mobile Repair or call 435-500-2430. That's 435-500-2430.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People movie show. Looking back on 2023 and what it says about movies in the box office and where we're at post-pandemic as people finally come back to the movies in 2023, big time, and also looking ahead at what this year holds in store. Andy running through his top 25. We usually do this earlier, but we kind of got shortchanged by some scheduling issues and more. So I'm glad we're finally getting it to it here. But we left off at Wonka, right? And,
yeah.
No, you threw a few
Blue
in there.
Beetle
Blue
and
Beetle. I really liked Blue Beetle.
I was actually just keep thinking to myself. My brain works. There used to be a show on HBO called, I can't remember what the show is called, but it was basically this guy spent so much time watching TV as a kid that his brain only thinks in like movie quotes and stuff. And that's sometimes I feel like that.
Sometimes I feel like that with The Simpsons. There is a Simpsons clip for everything.
Yeah, it's like that. Blue Beetles where we left off. So really quick, because I do want to spend some time on 2024. I'll just go through a couple of ones really quick. But Air, the movie with Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, that was again the story of how Nike, as a fledgling shoe company back in the mid '80s, snagged Michael Jordan, and that pretty much forever changed their fate. I didn't know how I would like that, just because I don't know. It felt, some of the trailers felt a little Lifetime movie-ish to me.
Yeah.
But that was actually absolutely delightful. I enjoyed it. I know, as a shoe fiend myself, I know most of that story.
Shoe fiend.
But it was fun to kind of watch that, come to fruition. I thought the best part of that movie was... is it Viola Davis? Yeah. Viola Davis and Matt Damon. I can't believe I'm saying that, because
I don't like her in everything she's in.
I
don't know why.
She's good, and I generally don't love. Matt Damon. I don't know. Matt Damon is just kind of vanilla for me a lot of times.
Yeah.
But he's the best part. He is really. I thought he did a great job. Anyway, that's a great one. That's on Amazon. You can, if you have Amazon Prime, you can watch it. The other one that's on my top 25, The Creator. This is Gareth Edwards. We were just talking about Godzilla a little while ago.
Like that.
Yeah, it's a little long again, but I thought it was.
It's a thinking person sci-fi movie.
It is.
It's kind of like Blade Runner.
Yeah, that's a great comparison.
In that style.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. Blade Runner is a great comparison. And Garrett, nobody does scale and can kind of convey scale and size better than Gareth Edwards, I think, in this day and age.
Like Monsters?
Or ships,
not
or
monsters.
war. It's outlandish enough to be sci-fi, but believable enough to make you kind of sit and be glued.
Yeah.
So
he has this ability to make things that could be a joke, not like the bomb robots in The Creator.
Or
that could be if you did that wrong, the audience would be laughing their heads off at how ludicrous
it'd be
that
a lot
is.
like Phantom Menace stuff, like Roger, Roger.
Yeah, exactly. And but he manages to make the bomb robots. For those who haven't seen it, these are bombs with legs and arms that run.
Yeah.
And it
They're
could
like
be
suicide bomber robots.
Yeah, it could be cartoonish and a joke, but it ends up being one of the creepier moments in the movie because of how he does it.
100%.
It's just amazing.
I also have on here Strays. I don't care what anybody says. That movie was fantastic. It
was very funny.
Will Ferrell, Jamie Foxx, just
not a family movie.
No, absolutely not. Do not. This is not. Oh, look, dogs.
I always worry when Will Ferrell's doing voice work in a movie that involves animals and animation that people are going to be like, "Oh, let's take the kids." This is not a kids movie.
It was so funny.
Really funny.
It's basically an adult R-rated Homeward Bound.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was nice. It was a nice palate cleanser at the end of the summer from like all the kind of box office like blockbuster fanfare. Another movie on my list.
I like the twist too. I like the revenge flick twist.
Oh yeah, with Will. I can't think of his name. You know what I'm talking about.
MacGruber. I can't remember his name either, but I remember
MacGruber. Maestro is another one on my list. This is on Netflix right now. We talked a little bit about this last Friday. Bradley Cooper. He directs. It's Leonard Bernstein. It's one of the most gorgeous movies shot this year.
Is this Bradley Cooper's first in the director's seat?
No, he did. The movie with Lady Gaga.
Oh,
the remake.
Oh, he did direct.
I think he's directed more as well. I'm not sure if he did The Place Beyond the Pines.
Star is Born,
but he's great. And this is, I would say at this point, I think the best actor award is probably Bradley Cooper's to lose.
Yeah.
I just don't see another person that could really. Paul Giamatti is probably the closest. Those two, in my mind, are neck and neck for the best actor award. So, and honestly, this is kind of like when Kevin Spacey was nominated. We don't talk about Kevin Spacey anymore. Kevin Spacey was nominated for American Beauty, and so was Russell Crowe for The Insider. And I saw both those movies, and I was like, you know what? Either one. Like, I'm not going to be disappointed. Someone will be disappointed, but it will not be me.
It really is sad we can't talk about Kevin Spacey because he was good.
It's the sequel that we don't talk about Kevin.
Yeah.
We don't talk about. Oh, actually, no, it's not the sequel.
He really was a good
part
actor,
two.
and he was in some great movies. And
yeah, he's great.
Even when he was playing a stereotype like Baby Driver, where anybody really could be.
He's engaging.
But he
or
still
horrible
made it,
bosses.
Yeah, he still made it engaging, and then it turns out he's just the creepiest dude on the planet.
Yeah, folks, like you know what?
Still is, by the way. Did you know that he still won't own it, and he's still claiming to be a victim? It's just
that's tough.
Too bad to see someone melt down like that.
Number 15, May, December. We talked about this a few weeks ago with Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman. Again, kind of the fictional retelling of this sort of Mary Kay Letourneau story where the, in this, 30-something pet store worker has an affair with a 7th grader, I believe.
Yeah.
And then goes to prison. They get married, have babies, and it's just
still together.
It's
today.
just kind of like what happens later on when the kid is an adult and they get married. There's still this gap that just doesn't, and this abuse that maybe you don't, even though you say it's not abuse, is really abuse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like the character who was kid when it started doesn't realize
the abuse
that this is a
trauma.
predatory situation that they're trapped in.
Very creepy, but it draws comparisons between Natalie Portman's actress character and this this lady. So it's
nobody does troubled and maybe creepy as well as Julianne Moore. She's got this ability to to do that in a way that, anyway.
She's good. And I should also point out, Maestro, I almost said Maestro. Maestro and May December are both on Netflix.
Okay.
Another movie, American Fiction. Again, this is some of these I feel like we've just talked about recently. This is Jeffrey Wright. I don't know if there's a place to stream this right now. This will be in the Oscars discussion. Jeffrey Wright again for Best Actor. Sterling K. Brown, who I like in pretty much everything, is great in this. Is his angry gay brother. He's just so funny.
I've only seen the trailer.
It's great. It's a very heartwarming movie, but also kind of, again, delves into some societal things that are a little, I think most people will be nodding their heads going, amen, yeah, we agree. It's good. Another movie on my list, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, TMNT, Mutant Mayhem, I put on here because I thought the animation was fantastic, and it made me care and be interested in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I, whispers, never have been. I can't think of anything dumber.
I mean, honestly, isn't that basically the best thing you can say about a movie? Any movie.
It made me care about a bunch of
Ninja
Turtles that have always thought is one of the dumbest things.
Because that's why you go, is to be taken out of your life into this other story for 2 hours. And so,
great voice cast, just great. It's just great. This did for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles what Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse did in 2018 for the Spider-Man franchise.
That's very cool.
The horror movie Talk to Me is on my list.
Yeah.
In a year where horror didn't really stand out as much as it has in years past, this was the absolute gem of anything scary that was released.
Talk to Me, and then I can't remember. Barbarians was another one.
That was last year.
But I didn't see it until this year.
Yeah,
those are two horror movies that you should, if you like horror, see Barbarians and see Talk to Me.
Yep.
Skip Smile and all of those others.
Yep. Killers of the Flower Moon, we won't go into too much either. That was on my list. That one was a tough one. That almost didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
And the reason why is I read the book, and the book, for how great the book was, it
didn't translate well.
Yeah, well, there was things I loved about that I thought Scorsese did really well, and I think the acting is fantastic. I just feel like the whole investigation part of it and
they basically
was lost.
They took the timeline of the book and almost reversed it.
Yeah,
and it kind of ruined the narrative.
It did a little bit. It was it's a hard. It makes me think that the book was hard to translate. But I thought, as again, that's saying something about the acting and the filmmaking behind it. It still makes my list, even though it wasn't my favorite.
It set him up to spend so much time on these other things instead of the book spends time on. The book tells, I mean, you know what happened and kind of who did it in the first couple chapters of the book.
Yep.
And they wanted a mystery, and that actually distracts from the story the book tells, so that was
Yeah,
anyway.
I thought the book, the focus was just this.
By the way, we might have to get to 2024 next week.
We can do that. Everyone will have more time. But again, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is on my list. I didn't think they could one-up themselves, and they did. It's actually better than the 2018 version. If you haven't seen that, by all means, check that out. It's fantastic. Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves is on my list. I was so surprised by that. That came out of left field. When I saw the trailer for that, I never once thought, oh, yeah, this is going to be in my top 25 for sure. And it was. Chris Pine is hilarious. It just is such a great, great movie. And again, Hugh Grant sliding in with, kind of a great sort of villain performance is something that, he's been doing well. On my list is also the movie Bottoms. I don't know if that's really a household thing that everyone has seen, but Bottoms is hilarious. The way I described it to someone is if you take that movie, Booksmart, and you sort of cross that over with a Rian Johnson old movie called Brick, and She's the Man. Those three movies, if they all got in just a collision in an intersection, Bottoms is what would come out, and it is. It is hilarious. I can't say enough about it.
On my list to see.
It's really funny. Also have The Killer with Michael Fassbender, and it's a David Fincher movie. This is on Netflix. Kind of flew under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, it shouldn't have. It was really...
Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it.
Dark,
I think sometimes people get confused on the Netflix movies because they feel like that these Because sometimes Netflix movies give the impression that they were shot in like 3 or 4 rooms.
Yeah.
It's like a rotating set.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Like,
maybe they are.
Weirdly low budget for big budget
Sometimes
films.
it does feel that way. It does.
It really does.
Yeah. But The Killer's great. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a great movie. Past Lives is on my list. It just Past Lives just took me through the ringer. I mean, it's one of those. It's just so well done, and then it's like what might have been. That's the theme of that movie.
Really enjoyed that.
And then The Zone of Interest, I can't recommend enough. It's unlike any type of Holocaust movie I've ever seen. That'll be up there for best foreign film. It's on our list, but that's my top 25. I will post these later tonight at andyatthemovies.com.
Okay,
along with some really creepy AI images that everyone needs to check out.
Don't let concerns about today's events derail your long-term financial strategy. Edward Jones Financial Advisors can help work with you to understand today's financial landscape and how to be positioned for the long term. Edward Jones can give you the tools for a reasoned, disciplined approach to investing. Get started by calling one of the 7 Edward Jones locations in Cache Valley. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Were you injured in an accident and don't know how to move forward? Call the Advocates. It doesn't cost anything to chat with the Advocates' experienced attorneys. In fact, you'll never pay for any out-of-pocket expenses. Let the Advocates deal with the pushy insurance adjusters and sort out those stressful medical bills. Talk to the Advocates and get a free case evaluation. Now with offices in Logan at 95 West 100 South. Call 801-350-5550 or chat online at utahadvocates.com.
Didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
Welcome back to the For the People Movie Show. Hour 1 of the For the People Movie Show. Revisiting our end-of-the-year recap and our look ahead at this year so far because, frankly, it is award season and a little slow out there as far as new films hitting theaters. That isn't an excuse not to go to a movie this weekend. There are a lot of great films in theaters here in Logan from previous opening weekends that if you haven't seen, you should see. But if you've seen everything, if you're caught up, this weekend might be a good weekend for you to go catch up on streaming service of choice. It's award season, basically. I mean, there's no other way to just would be blunt. It's award season, and everyone's sitting on their movies. So that's what happens. The film festival, of course, kicked off today, actually, and I'll have a report. I'm headed up there now, and as you listen, yeah, exactly, because I pre-recorded this to make time for the film festival. We actually won't be live again until next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, maybe I'll have some news from the film festival when I return about big films that might be hitting theaters to get you excited about movies again. But it's definitely the lull in the new releases stretch that we've had for some time. And like I say, it's award season. It's what happens. But in movie news, also kind of slow, to be honest with you. It's usually, in award season, there's usually a scandal or two or a rumor or something like that, but no such luck. The biggest movie news of the day is Carmen Electra legally changing her name and finally explaining why. It was last week, this news came out, and she ditched her birth name to formally go by her long-known stage name of Carmen Electra. Her birth name, Tara Lee Patrick, by the way. But she's been known as Carmen Electra for years and years and years. So why suddenly did she decide to change her name? Well, she changed her name legally to Carmen Electra this week. And she said that the reason she did this was she even considered herself Carmen Electra. She said, though, there's no big reason behind the timing of this decision to make it legal. She said, I've been thinking about this for years, and I finally got around to filling out the paperwork as part of my New Year's resolution to tie up some loose ends. So if Carmen Electra is officially, legally, Carmen Electra. And actor Jason Patrick fatally struck by a bus walking across the street in New Jersey. 80s fans of Jason Patrick will remember him from, he had some pretty big roles, but he was most well known for his role in The Lost Boys with Kiefer Sutherland, but he was also in Sleepers, Geronimo, Your Friends and Neighbors, Narc. He was really good in Narc. The Losers, The Alamo, Speed 2, Cruise Control, and appeared on several episodes of Entourage and Saturday Night Live. He was 56 years old, and he was struck and killed by a bus walking across the street in New Jersey. Law enforcement informed his family and friends, and then they put out a public statement. His younger brother, 1 year younger brother, Jordan Miller, was walking across the street in Fort Lee Wednesday afternoon when a New Jersey transit bus barreled into Jason. I'm sorry, I got this completely wrong. I've said it wrong. His brother, Jason Patrick's brother, Jordan Miller, was struck by a bus. But Jason Patrick said that this has been so traumatizing to him that he announced after the family statement came out announcing the death of his brother, and Patrick was right there when it happened. Jason Patrick. He said that he's leaving the acting profession at this point. He said it doesn't seem related, but he says it's time for me to move on and fulfill some other avenues of unfinished business in my life. So sad note there, and totally random occurrence. Jason Patrick had been on the set of a film, said he'll finish that one out, and then he's done with acting after watching his younger brother, younger by 1 year, struck by a bus and killed while the two were walking across the street in New Jersey. And finally, in movie news, Nicole Kidman, she is suiting up. That's right. It caught everybody's eye. Big news. Nicole Kidman suiting up was the headline. And everybody said, what? Is she going to be in a Marvel movie, a DC movie? What gives? And, we finally got the information on this. And unfortunately, it was just a clever headline. She is suiting up in a Sotheby's. That's right. She's suiting up in a Sotheby's suit for a AMC movie theater's ad. Everyone was struck by that headline. That's hour one of the For the People movie show, but stick around. Hour two with Andy Morgan coming up right after this in our extended For the People movie show as it continues here on KVNU Logan.